Red, White, and You.
Hi, this is Mike Lay. I'm calling to talk to either John or John.
This is John and John.
And I'm John.
How
Yes.
are you doing?
Hi.
How's it going,
I'm,
man?
I'm the author of the immigration book,
Cool.
U.S. Immigration Policy, Ethnicity, and Religion in America.
Awesome.
And I understand you guys want to do a bit of an interview with me.
Yes,
for your
hold on.
podcast.
Hold on real quick, Michael. I'm just going to play our intro. We are just getting started. We are just sitting
Okay.
down. And I just have to find it, and we will be on our way. Here we go.
Okay.
What do you get when a staunch Republican and a left-wing liberal work through their differences and do a podcast? You get Red, White, and You with John and John.
Red, White, and You. We are John, and we are on with Michael LeMay.
What's going on, Michael?
Well, I'm interested in following the politics, particularly regarding the Trump administration and positions on immigration policy in relation to a book I've just written and that was just published recently, and thought you guys might want to talk a little bit about it for
Absolutely.
your listeners.
Yeah,
What
so
is-
I am curious, like, what are your, what's your stance on immigration?
Well, in the book, I don't take a position in advocating one or another of the political positions on it. I try and analyze the laws that we had and describe why it's so difficult to get immigration reform through Congress today because of the political kind of stalemate in Congress. But I don't take a position itself.
Okay.
I try to be
Stay neutral.
scholarly and objective in describing what is the law, why it got passed the way it got passed, and what are some of the implications for future attempts to reform or revise immigration policy.
I just think we should cut it off, like close down airports.
No, that's wrong.
build
we
a
need
wall.
to, no, I think that
Just-
we need to let people in from other countries because if their countries are, having wars and stuff
And
and
they're
they don't
gonna
want to
bring it
deal
here.
with
They're
those
gonna bring it
wars,
here.
we should be able to let them into our country. And it shouldn't be
Well-
hard to get over into our country.
Many people want immigration, but legal immigration. So they want the unauthorized or illegal immigration stopped and have just legal immigration. The problem with that is where there's the greatest demand for legal immigration, there's so much backlog for it.
Why should it have to
that
be
the people
legal
come-
or illegal? Can't it just be like, oh, if you
No,
want to go to America,
it
you can
should
go
be
to
legal.
America?
You gotta go through the
there shouldn't
legal
be,
routes
There shouldn't be
to
a
come
question
here.
of whether this is illegal or legal. We should just open our borders, and people want to come over, they should be able to come over. That's
Well,
it.
you
It's
should
not-
let them stay
not-
with you
that's.
then.
I'm not saying like that's like you're saying. Oh, that's a legal way. No, just open our borders. They come over. Bam. There's no question of whether it's illegal or legal. We should just allow people into our country.
We've had for many years a process for it. We
It's
have
been
to
too lenient.
vet, if you will, the immigrants coming in,
stop it.
among other things. Just think, for instance, the number of people coming from third world countries where there are epidemic diseases and the like. You need some sort of screening process. You can't just have them come across
Breathing on
the
you.
border unscreened or unevaluated and without any kind of an examination. We've always
Well, you can't just
cough.
judge
Some
people.
cough.
You can't just be like, well, you might have a disease. That's not
Well,
right.
you might. I don't want it here.
I don't think that's right.
I
Just
have
be like,
children.
well, your country's dirty, so you probably have Ebola. Like, that's not right.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we're saying entire countries should be banned because they
Kinda
have
sounds
Ebola.
like you are.
I'm just saying you need some sort of process
Yes.
to evaluate immigrants coming in. We've always had inspection of immigrants, inspection of their paperwork to make sure they are who they say
You don't
they
need
are.
process, you just need kindness. You need kindness, and you need an open heart, and you need to be able to accept people whether they have Ebola or not. Like, you should be able to accept them into your heart and your country.
What about ethnicity? I want to know, Michael, do you feel like we should assimilate or hold on to our ethnic roots?
You can do both. I mean, ethnic groups or people of a particular ethnic background have always been coming over since our country, since
Ellis
1820.
Island.
Really, since 1820, we've had large numbers of various groups coming in. They've all assimilated within a generation or two. It takes longer for some groups than for other groups, but all of them have assimilated. We just don't need to have forced assimilation.
Oh, I don't like that there's street signs in Spanish. I think they should. They should know. You coming in here, you should know how to read a street sign.
No, we need to be welcoming. We need to welcome all
I don't think
languages.
we need to cater.
We should have a sign for every language. If you're Japanese, we should have the
No.
same sign that says stop. It should say stop in Japanese, in Spanish, in Arabic,
No.
in Israelite.
That's not practical.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not gonna work.
How's that not
whatsoever.
practical? It's kind and friendly and it's accepting.
Well, that's true, but it's also impractical. It's just not going to work.
Well, like, how won't that work?
On
Like,
the same
at
token,
least
we don't have to.
they're all going to know when to stop.
We don't have to force people to speak English, for instance. But they will. They will learn English quickly.
They will.
Immigrants want
As
to
possible.
assimilate quick and as quickly as possible.
Yes.
We don't need to force them by programs.
Sometimes you need to
At the same token, I don't think we should be blocking them because they often bring great talents. Persons who come here as immigrants have a lot of moxie, if you will, and often street
They got a lot of
smarts
heart.
and tremendous drive and entrepreneurship, and so they add to our country. They add to the value of our
That's right.
economy.
As long as we can profit off of it. I say, like,
That's
yeah.
greedy, though. What do you
bring in
mean
that
profit
great
off of
relief
them, you
pitcher for the
greedy?
Yankees from South America. That's
Oh,
good. I
alright.
like Mariano Rivera. He's good. He's bringing in revenue for the state, for the country, for the game. That's all it is. It's a game.
What? Like, you're just dehumanizing people. Like, you're looking at people as pieces in a game, or
Yes.
just like
It's
money
a game.
signs. Like, that's it.
Dollar signs, yes. It doesn't make sense. It makes dollars. And that's all we are going to be looking at moving forward.
No, they're human beings.
Well, you can do both. You can look at them as human beings, and you can also accept the fact that they bring human capital with them. They bring a value. They add to our culture, to the diversity. They add to our economy. In many cases, the immigrants create a lot of other jobs for other people.
They do a lot of stuff that we don't want to get our hands dirty. They do a lot of stuff that,
Oh, so you're just saying you want to use them. What you want is slaves, is what it sounds like.
I
I
just
think
want my yard done
John
for-
just wants slaves.
$15 less than the white kid up the street.
Yeah,
he's charging a little too
racist.
much.
Well, again, they add to the economy. You don't have to say they're slaves just because they work for somewhat lower wages than other workers. We've always had
let's
that
just
kind of
wait,
wait. I get it. We'll
They're
just
just trying to
enslave.
feed their
We'll just
families.
enslave people, but we won't call them slaves. So it's
No,
okay.
it's
That's
not.
what you're saying.
They have the choice. They
Oh
don't
no
have to
no
do
no!
that.
You're a hard worker. You're not a slave. Now clean my shoe, and get nothing.
Well, if the market economy is working right, you would have to pay them something to clean your shoes. They don't do it. They don't get nothing from it. They get something from it.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm
they
sorry. I
often will
thought you
take
were
on
just
jobs
saying
that no one else will.
you wanted slaves.
They're just taking
Well,
advantage of the opportunities that is before them, that are right before them.
But I think we do need an immigration policy that is more open than the current policy, and the Trump administration is trying to make it to restrict even legal immigration.
And that's wrong.
Yeah,
For
that's
instance-
what I'm
for instance,
all
the
for. I think we
proposal
need to close it off.
to take away birthright citizenship.
Yeah.
To take away
No.
the citizenship of persons born in
Just
this
because you
country.
come here pregnant,
if their parents are
you gotta stay here because you gotta
undocumented.
raise a baby. I don't agree. I don't agree. You came here pregnant. You can leave here pregnant, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, but you can have that opinion, but the courts have ruled that on numerous occasions, that if you were born in the United States, you are a natural born citizen.
And you're
despite or no matter
You
what
should
the
just
status
be.
of your
You're
parents
just
are.
pickpocketing me at that point.
I really
You're
think
just pickpocketing
I really
me.
think, John. I really think
I
no
got a
matter
baby. Look
where
at me. I gotta stay.
No
I gotta
matter
stay. Look
where
at my
you
stupid
are
baby.
in
My
the
baby
world,
needs
you're
milk.
an American. I don't
No.
care if you're living in if you're living in Uganda and you were born in Uganda, you're still an American
You
in my
stay
book.
in Uganda. You don't come here. You stay right there in Uganda.
There's a category of persons born in the United States that most Americans are not aware of, that are called border babies. These are different from what are commonly called anchor babies. The anchor babies your listeners are probably familiar with. They're the ones who come where the parents come, usually across the southern border, from Mexico or Honduras or Guatemala. And they come often with the mother being pregnant, and the child is born here, and therefore the child is an American citizen. And there's a lot of people who want to ban that or stop that. Take that away.
Michael, it
They're not
seems
aware
like
that there's
one of our listeners has
they're
just
not
called
upset
in.
or aware that there are border babies that are from Canada. But from Canada, where the parents are Canadians.
Oh, okay. Michael, one of our listeners has just called in. Hi, who's this?
Hi, Uncle John.
Yes, this is John. I don't know if I'm your uncle, but who is this?
This is Shawnee, your nephew.
Michael, this is my nephew, Shawnee. He's a little weird, but okay. So Shawnee, what do you want to talk to Michael about? You've called to talk to Michael?
No, I'm trying to get a hold of you. You promised me you'd.
No. I've told you not to call this.
To Chuck E. Cheese for my birthday.
No, Shawnee, I've told you not during my show. You can't call me. If you're going to call during my show, you have to call to talk to my guest, remember?
Your boyfriend Ronald, your boyfriend Ron, he picked me up from school yesterday, and he didn't have his zipper up, and it was he made me feel really uncomfortable.
No. Now, Shawnee, Ronald is not like that. We've had this conversation. I don't appreciate you making up these stories about my good friend Ronald.
Your boyfriend made me do something.
No, I know you're lying. Ronald would never do anything like that. He's a good man.
He had his wiener out.
No, he didn't, Shawnee. No, Ronald already told me he drove you home, and he told me you guys talked about the Pokemons, and that was it.
It was not.
He said Shawnee might tell you some things, but we only talk about the Pokemons, and I'm like, I know Ronald, he does that a lot. He makes up stories. Shawnee, I gotta let you go. I'm in the middle of a radio. I'm doing my job right now, Shawnee. I can't. You're interrupting. I guess. Yes, Shawnee.
You take me to Chuck E. Cheese?
I will take you to Chuck E. Cheese, I promise. Tomorrow. We'll go to Chuck E. Cheese. I have to let you go, okay? Are you're going to be okay, Shawnee? You're going to be able to sleep tonight?
Yeah.
I just need you to be able to sleep tonight, okay?
Take me to Chuck E. Cheese. I want 20 tokens. I want tokens.
Definitely. You're really good at the games at Chuck E. Cheese. You're going to run a lot of tokens. You always do.
Okay.
Okay, Shawnee. Thank you very much for remember, Shawnee. Just
I love you, John.
I love you too, Shawnee. Love you with all my heart. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm so sorry about that, Michael. He doesn't know to call my personal phone. I usually tell him to. So tell us a little bit more about your book, Michael.
Okay, well, it's the title of it is U.S. Immigration Policy, Ethnicity and Religion in American History, and it looks at immigration from 1820 until current time, and it explains sort of why the various laws were passed, when they were passed, and what the impact that they had on immigration into this country and the assimilation of immigrants into our society and culture. And religion and national origin or ethnicity are major factors in why people came in large numbers or waves. And I distinguish in the book a number of periods that I characterize by a door image for each period. So, for instance, from 1820 to 1880, I call it the open door era, where people could just pretty much come freely, as John was talking about earlier in our discussion. And then there's the next period is called the door ajar era, from 1880 to 1920. And there we're beginning to restrict or close the door. We have some restriction on immigration, but there's still very, very large numbers coming.
There
and
is.
From 1920 to about 1960, we have what I call the pet door
Too
era.
open.
This is the era of quota immigrants.
Too many doors.
Too many immigrants. That's just the facts right there.
Well, we've had about 80 million immigrants, legal immigrants to the United States, but unquestionably the country has benefited by those immigrants.
No,
they've been a positive.
At first, but I don't think we are benefiting right now.
What creates wealth?
We are benefiting. We're all becoming friends.
What creates wealth?
Cheap
work.
Labor.
People working create wealth. And when people come here to work, they create wealth.
Yes.
We benefit from the immigrants.
But only when they're working cheaply, like in sweatshops. That's only when we were benefiting.
Again, you're going back to just enslaving people and treating people like
they're doing
they're not
themselves
really
and
people.
selling us the product for way less than we would buy.
I just think it's not right. You're treating
Well,
these people like they're not human.
That brings us to our next subject. I would like to present our new segment called Hot Topic, and I will introduce us right now with that intro.
And now it's time for tonight's Hot Topic.
Tonight's Hot Topic is travel ban. We have to build a wall and close down all our bridges and tunnels and stop everybody from coming here.
Bullshit. No, we're not going to do that. Like, why would you do that? You're losing everything and you're just being shitty. Like, America is supposed to be the land of the free and we're supposed to embrace other people.
We're red, white, and blue, not red, white, and brown, John.
Why are you always so racist? It's not.
I'm not being racist. I'm just being.
We're red, white, and you. That's the name of our show. We include everyone. We don't exclude the brown people.
I'm just being patriotic, John.
It's not patriotic. None of us. To be honest, half of us didn't even like. We took over America. We're all like Italians and. For the most part.
Yeah, the ones that
So
that
we're
did it right.
immigrants.
Yeah, we did it right. We came here.
So then why wouldn't you want more immigrants? Why would you build a wall to stop other people who could do what we did?
Because we don't want any more because they're underselling us.
What do you think, Michael?
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, so what do you think, Michael?
I don't think we should build a wall. I think the wall would be largely ineffective, extremely costly.
If there were armed guards at the top of it, it would work.
Unnecessary.
It's not unnecessary. We need Border Patrol and we need guards, armed guards, and turrets.
I agree with you,
turrets
Michael.
Everywhere.
We don't need a wall.
We need
and we don't
guns
need to keep people
and
out.
Armed man guns.
We just need to be a better people, and we need to be strong and resistant to Ebola, and we can let everybody in.
What about when they have bombs strapped to their chests, John?
Well, you just have to. We have to be tough.
Planes aimed at our buildings.
We just have to be a tough people,
That's
we
not
have
gonna
to be
stop
able to survive
9/11.
bombs.
9/11.
We survived 9/11.
Barely. It cannot be survived
We've
again.
survived a lot of crises.
Because we are
in the
strong
past,
people, and we have to
and
continue to
immigrants
be
have helped us
strong.
survive it.
Immigrants have hurt
Yes.
us.
No, immigrants, just
In
like
the
Michael
end.
said, immigrants have helped us. They saved us.
They shaved us.
Our economy would crash if we really deported the approximately
Like a
11
plane into
million
2 towers?
unauthorized immigrants that are currently in our country. It would literally
Why?
send us into a depression if we deported all 11 million.
I'll be depressed if that was the case. I'll gladly be depressed. I would gladly take
Oh, you're just
depression.
going to accept depression because
Yes.
you get what you want.
I would take.
That's all it's about with you
I would just take
Republicans.
medicine to combat the depression. It's not funny.
All right, Michael, thank you for your time. It's been great. Where can everybody find you, my friend?
Well, that book can be found. The easiest way to get it is just go to Amazon.com
Okay.
and either just type in
Right.
on the
Yeah.
bar the name
Yeah.
Michael LeMay, and the various books will come up.
Right. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Have a good one.